Have you ever been humiliated in front of others? You're not alone. In fact, research shows that over 70% of people have experienced it at least once in their lives. But here's the harsh truth. Humiliation doesn't just sting in the moment. It can shatter your confidence, damage your self-esteem, and even make social situations feel like a battlefield. Most people, when faced with humiliation, either freeze or lash out, only to regret it later. But imagine if you could handle these situations without losing your cool. Imagine if you could respond in a way that deflects the humiliation, preserves your dignity, and even earns you the respect of those around you. In today's video, I'm going to show you 7 life-changing lessons that will help you handle humiliation like a pro, using powerful principles from psychology and the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to stay calm, stay strong, and take control, no matter what life throws your way. Recognize that humiliation is about them, not you. Let's begin with an empowering truth that will change everything. Humiliation is almost never about you. It's about them. When someone tries to tear you down, it's often because they're feeling small themselves. Their harsh words, their insults, their jabs, they're nothing more than a desperate attempt to make themselves feel better. It's a power move. They want to put you down to feel on top, but deep down, it's a reflection of their own insecurities. This is why you need to remember, their words are not a measure of your value. They say nothing about you, your character, or your worth. It's about their issues, their fears, and their need to feel in control. When you recognize this, something incredible happens. You stop taking their behavior personally. You stop internalizing their negativity. And that, right there, is where your true power lies. You realize that you are in control of your own emotions and you can stand tall, no matter how hard they try to knock you down. Control your response, not their actions. Here's the powerful truth that will change how you handle every difficult moment. You can't control what others say or do, but you have absolute control over how you respond. Think about it. People will always try to provoke you. Whether it's a sarcastic remark, a demeaning comment, or a deliberate attempt to humiliate you, there will always be someone trying to push your buttons. They may even succeed for a moment, making you feel small, angry, or embarrassed. But here's where your power lies. You get to choose your response. In those critical moments, it's easy to fall into the trap of reacting immediately, to defend yourself, to fight back, to retaliate. But when you do that, you're handing away your power. You're letting their behavior dictate your emotions, your actions, and ultimately, your peace. But what if instead you chose to respond with calm? What if you chose to remain grounded and in control? The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the core of Stoic wisdom. You can't control their words or actions, but you can always control your inner world, how you process their insults, how you interpret their behavior, and most importantly, how you respond to them. Imagine the power in this. When you don't react with anger, shame, or defensiveness, you maintain your dignity. You remain unshaken. And you send a message, both to them and to yourself, that you won't be controlled by anyone's words. You choose peace over chaos, composure over conflict. By mastering this, you stop being a slave to their negativity. You stop letting their actions define your emotional state. You are in control. And let's be clear, control isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't care. It's about understanding that your reaction is the one thing no one else can take away from you. It's your freedom. And when you choose to respond thoughtfully and peacefully, you send a powerful signal to everyone around you. You are unshakable. The calm gaze technique. Now let's dive into a technique that's deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. The calm gaze. When someone humiliates you, the first thing most of us want to do is react, either by firing back with words or by withdrawing completely. But what if I told you there's a response that doesn't require saying a single word? A response that speaks volumes without uttering a sound. The calm gaze technique is about using the power of your presence. When someone tries to humiliate you, instead of getting defensive or angry, you hold their gaze, calmly, steadily, unflinchingly. This simple act communicates strength without aggression. It shows that you are unbothered, unshaken, and in complete control of yourself. It's a signal that their words don't have power over you. And guess what? It completely disarms the aggressor. Most people expect you to react emotionally, to show vulnerability, or to back down in shame. But when you maintain eye contact and remain calm, you're sending a message that you won't be intimidated. You are resilient. The beauty of the calm gaze is that it requires no verbal confrontation. You don't have to justify yourself, argue, or engage in any back and forth. You simply stand firm in your presence. And this is often far more powerful than any words you could say. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone respond with a calm, unflinching gaze and felt an instant respect for them? You know they are in control, not just of the situation, but of themselves. That's the power you gain when you master this technique. It's a reminder that true strength doesn't need to shout. It's quiet, steady, and resolute. And when you stand firm with the calm gaze, you show everyone around you that you cannot be shaken, no matter what. You are the storm, and they are just the wind. Number 4, the repeat the joke method. Have you ever been humiliated by a joke at your expense? Maybe someone made a sarcastic remark, and for a split second, you felt like the whole room was laughing at you. But what if I told you that the best way to deal with it isn't to get angry or defensive, but to repeat the joke? With confidence? Yes, you heard that right. Repeating the joke can be one of the most powerful ways to disarm the situation and take control. Here's why. When someone makes fun of you or tries to humiliate you through humor, they're not just trying to make you feel small. They're looking for a reaction. They want to see you squirm. They want to see you get flustered or even angry. But when you repeat the joke back with a calm, nonchalant attitude, maybe even laughing at it yourself, you take the power away from them. You make it clear that their attempt to humiliate you doesn't affect you. You show that you're in on the joke and that you're not ashamed of yourself. In fact, you show that you have the strength to laugh at yourself without losing your dignity. Think about this. Have you ever seen someone own a joke that was made at their expense, laughing along, showing they aren't bothered? There's an immediate shift in energy. People go from seeing them as a target to respecting them for their confidence. It's as if you've turned the tables completely, and now the aggressor is the one who feels a bit awkward. The repeat the joke method works because it doesn't involve confrontation or retaliation. It's not about proving them wrong or making them feel bad. It's about taking back control in a way that shows you won't let their humor define your self-worth. You're essentially saying, I'm the one in charge here. I'm comfortable in my skin, and your words have no power over me. By laughing with them instead of at yourself, you flip the script and show the world that you are unshakable. Redirect the conversation with a neutral question. Imagine this. You're in the middle of a conversation, and suddenly someone throws a remark at you meant to humiliate you. It's sharp, it's unexpected, and in that instant, it feels like your world is spiraling. The instinctive reaction? You want to fire back, defend yourself, or even shut down in embarrassment. But what if there was a better way to respond? One that disarms the situation entirely and puts you back in control? Instead of letting the humiliation consume you, you can redirect the conversation with one simple, powerful move. Ask a neutral question. It might sound small, but let me tell you, this technique is a game changer. When someone tries to humiliate you, they expect you to react, to get upset, flustered, or defensive. They want you to feel small, like you have to prove something, but you don't have to play their game. Instead, you have the power to ask a question that shifts the entire energy of the situation. A simple question like, "What do you mean by that?" Or, "Can you clarify what you just said?" immediately takes control. Think about it. Asking a question shows that you're not fazed. You're not reacting emotionally. You're staying calm, grounded, and most importantly, in control. And here's the beauty. When you ask for clarification, it forces them to justify themselves. They have to think about their words, and in many cases, they'll be left scrambling. Why? because they didn't expect you to stand your ground and hold them accountable. Now let's be honest. People who humiliate others rarely have the self-confidence to defend their words. The second you ask them to explain themselves, they're put on the spot, and they may even feel uncomfortable or embarrassed. Imagine how much more powerful it feels to remain unshaken, calm, and composed, all while putting the focus back on them. This approach is not just about shifting the power dynamic, it's also about showing that you're not defined by their opinion of you. Their words say nothing about you. It's about their insecurities, their need for control, and their internal struggles. But you, by responding with a neutral question, show that you are the one in charge of how you feel. Their insults don't affect your peace. They don't get to decide your worth. But here's where it gets even better. This technique builds respect. You're not just deflecting the humiliation, you're proving that you have emotional intelligence, self-control, and maturity. When others see you staying calm, unshaken, and composed, they'll start to respect you in a way that words alone could never achieve. People will recognize that you don't need to get defensive to stand your ground. And more importantly, you'll start to see others treat you with the same respect. Redirecting the conversation with a neutral question doesn't just stop the humiliation, it changes the narrative. It turns the tables, showing that you have the confidence to remain unruffled no matter what life throws at you. And in a world where emotional reactions often take over, being able to respond with grace and intelligence is a powerful weapon. The next time someone tries to humiliate you, don't give in to the urge to react. Instead, stand tall, take a deep breath, and ask a neutral question. You'll be amazed at how much power you'll feel in that moment. Not only will you stay in control, but you'll earn the respect of those around you as well, walking away with confidence. There are moments in life where the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Sounds simple, right? But let me tell you, walking away with confidence is one of the most commanding responses you can make when faced with humiliation. It's not about avoiding the situation, running away, or backing down. It's about taking control and choosing peace over chaos. Now, walking away doesn't mean you're weak, that you can't handle it, or that you're running from the situation. Quite the opposite. It means you know your worth. It means you understand that no one has the right to disrupt your peace. When you choose to walk away, you are sending a powerful message not just to the person who tried to humiliate you, but to yourself as well. You're in control. Their words, their insults, they don't matter. What matters is how you choose to respond. And in that moment, choosing to walk away with your head held high shows your strength more than any words ever could. Imagine, you're in the middle of an uncomfortable situation, someone tries to put you down, and the pressure to react is there. But instead of engaging, you take a deep breath, maintain your posture, and simply turn and walk away. The moment you do, everything shifts. You're no longer playing their game. You're not giving them the satisfaction of a reaction. Instead, you're walking into your own power. And here's the beauty of this technique. It's a silent power move. You don't need to shout, argue, or try to defend yourself. By walking away with confidence, you're saying, I don't need to prove anything to you. I know who I am. I know my worth. You're showing them that their negativity cannot touch you, that their words cannot diminish you, and that you don't need their approval to feel good about yourself. But let's dig deeper into why this works. In that moment when you choose to walk away, you're taking control of the energy in the room. You decide that you're not going to stay in a place where disrespect is tolerated. You're essentially saying that your self-respect, your peace of mind, and your dignity are far too valuable to be disrupted by anyone's negativity. You don't need to engage with people who don't know how to treat you properly. Now, here's something you might not expect. Walking away often leaves a lasting impression on those around you. People respect someone who knows how to maintain their composure. When others witness you walking away calmly, they'll see your strength in a whole new light. They'll admire your ability to stay unshaken. In fact, walking away with dignity and confidence is something that commands respect. They'll know that you are someone who cannot be easily rattled by words. You walk away because you value your peace more than their opinion. And it's not just about others. It's about you. Walking away is a reminder to yourself that you don't need to get dragged into negativity. You don't need to engage with people who are only looking for a fight or trying to make you feel less than. You control your emotional state. You get to choose where to invest your energy. And when you choose to walk away, you're telling yourself, I'm too strong to be knocked off course by petty insults. My peace is non-negotiable. Here's the real power in walking away. It saves you time and energy. Every minute spent arguing, defending, or trying to prove your worth is energy you could have spent focusing on what matters most: your growth, your happiness, and your well-being. So when you walk away from a humiliating situation, you're making the choice to invest that energy in something far more valuable: yourself. And when you walk away, you also leave behind the negativity. You leave behind the people who are looking to tear you down, and you create space for people who truly value you, who respect you, and who will treat you with kindness and understanding. Here's the key takeaway. Walking away with confidence puts you in a position of strength. You don't need to argue. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to explain why you're worthy. By walking away, you are choosing to preserve your peace, your dignity, and your self-worth. And that's a response that no one can take away from you. The next time someone tries to humiliate you, take a deep breath. Stand tall. Remember your worth. And then, without saying a word, walk away with the confidence that only someone who truly knows their value can have. Walk away, knowing that you are not defined by others' opinions. You define yourself. And when you do, you'll feel more powerful, more self-assured, and more at peace with who you are than ever before. Own your response. You control the narrative. Let's dig deep into why this is so crucial. When someone tries to humiliate you, they may think they've won. They might feel like they've just knocked you down a few pegs. But here's the real truth. You are the one who controls the narrative, not them. When you own your response, you take back the power that they thought they had over you. Let me show you why this is the ultimate weapon in handling humiliation. Humiliation is a momentary attempt by someone else to assert dominance, to knock you off balance, to take control of how you feel. They want to see your reaction because that's the only way they can measure their power. They try to manipulate your emotions to make you feel small or less than what you are. But here's the most important lesson you'll ever learn. You don't have to give them that power. When you own your response, when you control how you react, you break free from the chains of their influence. You stop being a passive participant in their game of humiliation. They might hurl words your way. They might try to make you feel insignificant. But what they say or do is completely irrelevant to your sense of worth. Why? Because you decide how you feel. Think about it for a second. Imagine someone cracks a joke at your expense, trying to embarrass you in front of a group. They're expecting you to react, maybe with anger, or to shrink back in shame. But instead, you choose to rise above it. You don't get angry. You don't get defensive. You don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you rattle. You stay calm. You stay composed. And you show them that their words have no power over you. When you do this, you gain the upper hand, because you've just reminded them that you can't be controlled. The moment you refuse to react the way they expect, you take back your emotional energy. And that's when you regain your dignity. You are no longer at the mercy of someone else's words or actions. It's so easy to fall into the trap of reacting. Our instincts tell us to defend ourselves, to fire back with words, to get our point across. But in that moment, when you choose to not engage, you gain something far more valuable than a fleeting victory in an argument. You gain respect. People around you start to see you in a new light. They notice that you don't flinch when the pressure's on. You don't buckle when someone tries to make you feel small. They start to realize that you are not a person who can be easily shaken. You don't let the words of others determine your mood or your sense of self. And here's the beauty of it. As you practice this again and again, you become a master of your emotional world. Every time you respond with poise instead of reacting with anger or fear, you strengthen the emotional resilience inside of you. Over time, This becomes second nature. It becomes who you are. People will see it, and they will respect you for it. By owning your response, you send a clear message not only to the person who tried to humiliate you, but to everyone around you. I am in control of myself. I define who I am, not you. And that message, loud and clear, earns you the kind of respect that comes from true strength, not from arrogance, not from pretending to be something you're not, but from the deep inner confidence that says, I don't need to prove myself to anyone. But this doesn't just happen overnight. It's a habit. It's a skill you develop. Each time you're faced with humiliation, you get a chance to practice. You get a chance to remind yourself that you are the master of your emotions. You can look at the situation, assess it calmly, and choose to respond with dignity. This ability, this power of choice, is what sets you apart from those who let humiliation dictate their actions. When you stop reacting emotionally and start responding with intention, you become unshakable. You become someone who cannot be moved by the opinions of others. Think about how liberating that is. Imagine a life where no one's insult or mockery has the ability to shake you. Imagine being the type of person who walks into any situation, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the power to remain in control. That's the freedom that comes from owning your response. That's the strength you'll have when you refuse to let anyone else dictate your emotional state. The truth is, the world will try to humiliate you. It will try to bring you down, to challenge your worth. But the way you handle that moment defines you. When you own your response, you are telling the world that you will not be shaken. You will not be moved. And that is the most powerful thing you can do. Remember, humiliation is temporary, but your response can create a lasting impact. By taking control of how you react, you become the architect of your own dignity. You are the one who writes the story. No one else can take that from you. You control the narrative. You always have. You've just unlocked the secret to handling humiliation with strength and dignity. Now take this wisdom and apply it to your life. Remember, the way you respond to life's challenges, whether it's humiliation or any obstacle, is what shapes you. It's in your hands. You control the narrative, and no one can take that from you. At Echoes of Epictetus, we dive deep into the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy to help you grow stronger, more resilient, and more composed in the face of adversity. The Stoics knew that true power comes from within, and that's exactly what we're here to remind you of. The next time life tries to knock you down, hold your head high, stay composed, and always remember, you have the power to rise above, to own your response, and to remain unshaken. If you found these lessons valuable, don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss the next empowering lesson. Join the Echoes of Epictetus community, where strength, wisdom, and resilience echo through every moment of life. Keep striving, keep growing, and as always, take control of your narrative. The world may try to humiliate you, but with Stoic wisdom, you'll always rise higher. See you in the next video.